So back to so you have something you were bringing on, and what was that? It's not the big story, but it's a small story.
Yeah, it's like two small ones, and the first one's the smaller out of the two. So, what I wanted to do was also cover something that we saw some engagement on. This one's on Twitter, though. You were talking about a comment on YouTube, and I kind of wanted your opinion on this Twitter engagement because we seem to really strike a chord with this post, and folks quickly divided into two camps. Right, but it's a fun one. It's not too bad. So
why is it never three? Why is it always two?
I don't know.
It just always seems like it's I'm just saying everything seems to divide.
I guess it's a binary choice,
right?
It's the way the cosmos were organized
in this country. That's the thing. We have no.
Maybe you'll have the third. Maybe you'll have the third camp.
There are always outliers.
Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see let's see if you can answer your own question.
Okay, fine.
Right? You're the one that posted it.
You
don't have to go in one of the two camps. You can have a third camp. You can even make up additional camps on top of that. Let's see how many camps Antoine can come up with.
Mm-hmm. All right. Go for it.
All right. So it all started with an Elon Musk post that announced a new feature on X, formerly Twitter. If you share an article and haven't clicked on it yet, you will first be prompted to read the article before sharing it. Okay, that's the feature.
I like it. I mean, that's a good feature,
right? But it's okay. Well, I mean, I'm not going to taint it in any way right now.
Oh, okay.
So then, what I replied was maybe put a label on their post that they haven't read the article they reposted, so it's more public facing. Okay.
As long as this is being tracked appropriately. That's what
you would know in data if someone clicked on it. I mean, at any point in time, you know that we have.
But they could have read it in a different browser. They could have read it somewhere else.
Interesting point, Antoine. And then so I later amended my comment because it started. I mean, things got like a lot of comments and likes and stuff, at least for us. And I later amended it and replaced read with clicked. So it would really read, maybe put a label on the post they haven't clicked yet, right? So because a lot of people were saying that they could have read it on different platforms or read a similar article on the same story, but it's a different article, right? So all these different things. So all these different reasons why, my off-the-cuff comment was a terrible idea. Fair. I'm not taking any of it personally. Just thought this was really interesting. So what I want to say is that it was off the cuff. I didn't put a ton of thought into the comment, but I put it out in the public and the public responded. I'd also want to add that I don't find either feature to be necessary. I thought that they were both interesting, but let's just entertain the idea of this because it did stir up so much interest. So Camp 1 basically agrees with me. That they think it's a great way to pressure people into reading an article, or it could identify uninformed individuals that are blindly reposting with little context for the article's content or accuracy. And then Camp 2, which was overwhelming. I mean, Camp 1, it was like me and a few other people, but Camp 2 is very vocal. And they kept going at Camp 1, regardless of what Camp 1 was saying. Camp 2 was saying that they often repost articles on topics they read elsewhere. So I saw it somewhere else. I went onto Twitter, found it, and reposted it, but it was a different article. Or maybe I read the same article, but on my app. Maybe it was an Associated Press article on Twitter, but I read it on my app, right? All fair stuff, which is why I changed it to click instead of read.
Well, I mean, and that was my initial reaction. I was like, yeah, I mean, someone could easily come across something in another place, read it, and then they want quick access, so they type it in to Twitter or something, and they're posting it from either a different account of the same story. It's like, let's say I read it on the BBC, and then I'm like, oh man, I really want to share this, and I look it up, and now it's on MSNBC, and I'm posting the MSNBC link, but I didn't read the MSNBC version. I read the BBC version, but it's the similar gist. I'm just saying that could be very. That seems very likely.
And I totally get that. And that is a reasonable behavior that a lot of people exhibit. Heck, I probably have even done it at some point. What I would add to this is that I added that comment didn't click. And it's a factual statement in itself. It's highlighting that you did not click on the article that you reposted. I don't think, I understand, but I don't think it's necessarily an implication that you haven't read it when they change the language, but it is, you have to take it very literally. I get it. The risk of those non-clicking reposters, though, is that you did read the article somewhere else. It is possible that this article could have been updated since you have read it, right? And now there's new info in there that you're not aware of, or that it is a different article on a similar topic, but you haven't validated this journalist's slant on it. And so I do, if we want to like play the game and have the debate, I do still think it's worth saying that you have not validated this information that you are reposting, even though you may have read it earlier, the same article, or a different article on a similar on the same topic. I do still think that it's interesting. I don't think either of these are needed because people are going to believe what they believe, and I don't think we're in a headspace as a nation for this stuff to like shift opinion and for it to matter. Yeah. But if people were that scrutinizing, that big of like a critical think,
it would be nice if they were.
Then I think that it would make a difference. That, oh, I didn't read this one. Thank you for that, safety net. Mm-hmm. And if they do decide to post it without clicking it / reading it, that the public knows that these people are just regurgitating something for various reasons.
But here's another thing. Here's another angle to this. The news knows that most people do not read the articles. And so the headline is usually telling you everything you might want to know necessarily about certain articles. I mean, unless it's a deep think piece or something, long form journalism, something much, with a lot more girth to it. But your average 3-paragraph story for the New York Post, I mean, the headline, they specialize.
I get it.
In that. The headline is telling you
election night, Trump wins.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of got.
Do I have to read that article?
I got it.
You're more. That's what I'm saying. You're more reposting for the headline as opposed to the article itself. And so in that world,
and that's when you didn't read it. Label is like people brush it off and they're like, this person didn't read this article, but the headline says.
But the headline says everything,
and that's fine. And it's not a negative thing on them, right? It's not an implication that they are, some stooge.
Yeah, I'm not going to go after some guy. I'd be like, wow, what a buffoon. He didn't read this article that said Trump won.
But I'm telling you, Camp 2 hates the idea. So where do you fall? Camp 1, 2, or are you making up your own?
I did make up my own. I'm saying that the media dumbs their literature down enough where the headline is telling you everything. So I think it's a bit like elitist to say that everyone must click into an article, read the 2 to 3 paragraphs on something quite simplistic before reposting it. They're reposting it for the headline because they're sharing the information that the media itself is, like, I want to say commodify is not the right word, but they're condensing, they're distilling it down to be a headline because that's what they want. They want people just to repost it in order to get.
So you don't think either feature is needed? Your Camp 3 is
like Camp 3.
Cool story. Neither feature is needed, nor the pre-post prompt or the post-post label.
I'm saying discourse in this country has reached the bar is so low that this is like playing. It's like playing chess when the base game is checkers. Not I mean, checkers. I don't want to insult anyone who loves checkers. Okay, but you get what I'm kind of putting it down. Game. Chess is the highfalutin version of if you're talking about the two most simplest, simple old school board games. I'm just saying it's checkers. The country plays checkers, and these people are like, well, it's like bishop to a4. They're just like, what are you talking about? It's checkers out here. It's just it's none of this. We're not playing chess anymore. It's all checkers. So
all right. I don't know. Antoine is a Camp 3. There you go.
I'm a Camp 3. I'm saying
no, neither feature is needed.
It's not relevant.
I am totally fine with that.
Because I mean, come on. With all the garbage out there, really, that's what we're going to land on. We're going to land on talking about whether someone's lost integrity because they haven't been documented as having read an article that they're reposting. I mean, it's so funny. There's another level to this. It's not even like playing chess. The discourse is so low, especially on the internet. I just feel like you can't even start there. Anyway.
All right.